everybody. It's September of 2019, and we want to let you know that Jupiter Square Neptune is about to be over. We've been watching this transit pretty much all year, and you can see here is on the 21st at 9 o'clock a.m. Neptune is here, Jupiter is there. They're in a square for the final time this year. They have been moving in and out of this square over the course of the year. The first pass was in January, here on the 13th, at 14 degrees. Second pass came along in the summer in June at 18 degrees, and now we finally arrived at the final pass. And I have to say, it's such a relief because this transit is difficult, and it's difficult in ways that really wouldn't occur to you. I like the title for the blog post that we wrote about this. What could possibly go wrong? Because Jupiter is loaded with positivity, hopefulness, optimism. Jupiter looks on the sunny side of life. And Neptune is, well, it's very escapist. It's very spiritual. It's very dreamy. It's very non-confrontational. Neither of these planets is really going to stop each other. So a transit like this, when the two of them are in a square, is going to be characterized by mass delusion, really, like whole sets of the population, whole groups of people just engaging in a lot of wrong-headed thinking. It can be characterized by a very devotional feel, some religious fervor, some zealotry, some, I don't know, strongly held opinions and ideologies. It can be very non-realistic, very idealistic, very escapist, even naive. It's a time when you can be fooled by people who are, seem to be radiating a very positive energy, but there's just something missing. There's some kind of anchor or grounding cord that's just not there. There's basically a lack of being in touch with reality. So yeah, this has been a time when it's so important to stay grounded, to keep your hopes realistic, to just be in touch with reality. But it's coming to an end, so that's the good news. You can find a link to this blog post in the YouTube description below, and I just also want to point out that this transit would especially affect you if you have anything in your chart at 14 degrees or 18 degrees or 16 degrees of the mutable signs or around that zone. And the mutable signs are Pisces, Sagittarius, Gemini, and Virgo. And it's possible that I even list those as birth dates. Yeah, these birth dates, if any of these birth dates look familiar to you, then this transit has really had an impact on you this year. So, Natha, I know that you and Julia have some thoughts about this and how this might feel and how to handle it. What are you thinking about it?
Yeah, so it's interesting because I've been sort of watching this transit, and what it has seemed like to me is that, sometimes Jupiter can be a bit of a know-it-all, right? Feeling like,
Yeah.
oh, I have all the information and I'm up on my soapbox and I'm telling you exactly what I know to be true. And with Neptune, we can talk a lot about spiritual principles and spiritual teachings. And I have seen, on Instagram and on various social media platforms, people who, like you said, Jamie, are claiming to know it all, claiming to be a spiritual guru or a teacher, but really once you kind of look past that facade, there's nothing there. There's not a real understanding of the concepts, and there's nothing really to back it up. And I think that in our own little ways, that many of us during this transit personally are finding little places like that where what we tend to think is true, what we have known to be true in the past, is actually kind of questioning it. Like, is that still, am I just being a know-it-all here, spouting off at the mouth? And I'm hoping that when the transit is over, that we'll all get a little bit of clarity and maybe some shift in perspective, and even some real spiritual teachings that have some meat to them kind of filter down to us. So I know, Julia, you had some ideas too.
Oh, sure, Natha. Well, What makes this such a challenging aspect is anytime you have a square to Neptune or any hard aspect to Neptune, there is some potential for disappointment and disillusionment. And when you've got a square with Jupiter, there is, like Natha was mentioning earlier, some potential for arrogance, excess, things just getting way too big for its britches. So throughout this year, the combination of these planetary energies may indeed create a sort of atmosphere of over optimism or fantasies and just escapism just kind of abounding. And both of those planets are also strong in their own signs too.
That's right.
Since Neptune has been moving through Pisces, I think it was Stephen Forrest who correlated that with the advent of streaming and how people are just watching hours and hours of TV in a row now. And, I'd also like to add that the legalization of marijuana across the country, too, has been sort of following in suit with that transit as well. But yeah, if you can keep grounded, I think the potential of both of these comings together is an enhanced sort of mystical perspective, too, but with some friction in between before you get there. Jamie, what do you think?
I think this has got to be tied to the extreme ideological differences between the political parties that we're
Oof.
seeing in America right now, and
Oh,
just
yeah.
how entrenched people seem to be. So, hopefully there can be some middle ground discovered after this transit is over. That would be really nice. We'd like peace in the land, wouldn't we? Well, thanks for watching this video, and you can always find more news on the monthly forecast at Pandora Astrology. And if you want to have this come to your inbox about every week with a new video letting you know what's going on in the sky and how it affects you, then you can sign up for our weekly newsletter. And we'll see you around the cosmos. Bye.